My own family tried to break me, but they didn't expect me to fight back. Get out. Paying bills doesn't make you family. The words exploded across our Thanksgiving table, silencing everyone. The mashed potatoes I'd made from scratch sat untouched. The expensive wine I'd brought was half empty. My father's face twisted with rage while my mother, Linda, stared at her lap, avoiding eye contact. The turkey was getting cold between us, just like my heart. I'd spent years financing their lifestyle. But in that moment, as cranberry sauce congealed on fancy plates I'd paid for, I realized family was never about blood or money. It was about respect. I'm Sarah, 29, a software developer who started my own consulting business 3 years ago after putting myself through college. That day changed everything, not just for me, but for everyone sitting at that table. If you've ever been underestimated or betrayed by family, subscribe right now and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Your story deserves to be heard. Growing up, we never had much. Dad, Robert, worked construction until his back gave out. Mom, Linda, picked up retail shifts when she could. My brother Adam was the golden child, athletic, charming, always promising big things that never materialized. I was the quiet one with the laptop, the girl who stayed up coding while everyone else slept. I promised myself I'd break the cycle, working through college, launching my business, and finally achieving financial stability. When my family hit hard times 3 years ago, I stepped in without hesitation. Their mortgage, utilities, car payments, even Adam's student loans, I covered it all. Every month, thousands disappeared from my account into theirs, all while they treated me like the family disappointment. Thanksgiving Day started like any family gathering. I arrived at 10 a.m., arms loaded with grocery bags, organic turkey, fresh vegetables, artisan bread, a bottle of $80 Cabernet. Mom, Linda, hugged me briefly before rushing back to her phone game. Dad, Robert, nodded from his recliner. Football game blaring. Need help with dinner? I asked, already knowing the answer. You know I like doing it my way, Mom, she said, though she hadn't started anything beyond defrosting the turkey I brought. I rolled up my sleeves anyway, peeling potatoes at the sink while listening to the familiar creaks of the house I was secretly paying for. The smell of butter melting in cast iron, the soft thud of my knife against the cutting board. These simple sounds used to mean home. Now they just reminded me of all I gave and how little I got back. Adam strolled in at 2 p.m., empty-handed except for his phone. Dad's face lit up like Christmas. There's my boy, he called, muting the TV. Mom emerged from wherever she'd been hiding, arms wide for a hug. Adam barely returned it. Sorry I'm late, he mumbled, though he wasn't sorry at all. Traffic. No problem, sweetie, Mom cooed. Sarah's been helping cook. Adam nodded at me like I was a distant acquaintance rather than the sister who paid his car insurance. I forced a smile and kept mashing potatoes. Dinner started at 4 o'clock. Dad carved the turkey I'd paid for while praising Adam's form on the high school football field 10 years ago. Mom asked Adam about his recent job interview, his 5th this year, while barely acknowledging my recent contract with a major tech company. They really seemed interested, Adam said, mouthful of food I'd prepared. Probably going to offer me management track. That's wonderful, Mom squeezed his hand. See, good things come to those who wait. I took a sip of wine to hide my expression. Adam had been waiting for 3 years while I bankrolled his life. How about you, Sarah? Dad asked, more afterthought than interest. Still doing that computer stuff? Actually, I just landed a contract with Aroch. It could double my business. That's nice, Mom said, already turning back to Adam. I pushed food around my plate, the turkey suddenly dry in my mouth. 3 years of monthly transfers, of emergency calls, of co-signing for a brother who never paid his share. 3 years of being their safety net while they treated me like an ATM with inconvenient feelings. I need to scale back the financial support, I said during a rare quiet moment. Just temporarily. I need to invest in my company's growth. The table went silent. Dad's fork stopped halfway to his mouth. Mom's smile froze. Adam glared. What do you mean? Dad asked, his voice dangerously low. I've paid over $9,600 in your bills just this quarter, I replied, trying to keep my voice calm. I need to hire developers, expand my office space. It's just for a few months. Dad's face darkened like storm clouds gathering. You've changed, he said, jabbing his fork toward me. Success has made you selfish. I'm not being selfish, I said. I'm being practical. My business needs your business. Dad suddenly exploded, standing up and pointing at the door. The table shook, water glasses spilling. Mom flinched but said nothing. Then she whispered just loud enough for me to hear. You're just jealous of your brother. Something cold and hard crystallized in my chest. I smiled sadly, gathering my purse. Then let him pay the $9,600, I said quietly, and walked out. The cold November air hit my face. Behind me I could hear Adam's voice. Drama queen always has to make everything about her. My phone buzzed before I reached my car, a text from Adam. Way to ruin Thanksgiving, princess. I arrived home to my empty apartment and checked my phone. 17 missed calls from Mom, Linda. I played the voicemails, hearing her tone shift from anger to panic. With shaking hands but newfound clarity, I opened my laptop and began systematically removing my financial support. Canceling automatic payments, removing my name from accounts, and documenting every penny I'd provided. What my family never knew was that I'd kept meticulous records of every payment, every loan, with signed agreements. The family home, the car, utilities, they were all under my control. The next morning, Dad, Robert, was pounding on my door. Mom, Linda, sat crying in the car while Adam filmed on his phone. Emily had stayed over for support. I calmly opened the door, holding a thick folder. Everything is explained here. Dad flipped through the documents, seeing mortgage papers showing I owned their house, bank records of $147,000 transferred over 3 years, and signed loan agreements. You have 2 options, I explained. Start paying market rate rent and repaying loans on a schedule we establish, or I'll evict and pursue legal action. The police arrived, confirming this was private property and ordering them to leave. In the weeks that followed, Adam finally got a job at a warehouse. My parents downsized. The family home was sold to cover their debts to me. I focused on my business, hired developers, and expanded the office. Success felt sweet and hollow at times. A year later, Dad called. Sarah, I never really saw you. Your success threatened me, made me feel like a failure. I'm sorry. Thank you for saying that, I replied. That conversation didn't fix everything, but it started a relationship based on respect rather than financial dependence. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our amazing true stories. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever faced a similar situation with your family or someone close? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments below. Let's connect and learn from each other's experiences.